So we've got the old KTM 50 build, which is lifted in the back end, 72 volt now. That's a 65, that's getting the probably around about 22 kilowatts put onto it. But anyway, yeah, we're on this. For now I needed to fit some aftermarket suspension that I found for it, and they're Mazzocchi like Supercross type mini bike ones. But because these bikes are so small as a 50, the head tube there is tiny, and it runs a roller bearing in there, which is that type where the new forks, the Mazzocchi ones, run, ball bearing that type, and they roll the roller needle bearings like that. So how do you make something fit? Well, the solution is, that's the original cup, cut off the lip of it, and then I'm gonna weld on that bearing headset, the cup set, sorry, to both of them. And then once they're welded on there, TIG welded obviously, then I'll be able to press them back into the original frame without modifying the frame and chopping up the head tube. And then wallop, your bearings will fit in the top and bottom and press down. Also, these set of forks, some idiot who've been using them had put the wrong spacer on, and they were running that big fat spacer. As you can see, it's the wrong size totally, even for the dust cover, and it wasn't long enough, so it was fucking the forks travel up, which is probably why he sold them, because they were rotten. But I'm fixing them up because they were cheap for exactly for what they are. So I've made that up out of a brass tube, and I've put new bearings in, new seals and wallop. That'll fit in there nicely. Now, you would ideally use a lathe for this, but I don't have a lathe. I just have basic welder tools. So chop it up to a few mil longer than the desired length, because you can always take off, you cannot easily add back on. So that is a rule that you always do, is take off and leave a little bit extra and check it. That's with everything I've found over years of modifying and fitting cars and bikes. Always take off less. And then you can see it is pretty perfect, not far out, but the side that you cut, you will then stick it in a vise. Sorry, you will need a vise as well, and you basically put it in there, you give it a draw file that way to level it off, and you have a look by eye. This is all, it takes a bit of skill and patience, and then once you get it close, you'll just give it all a nice little tidy up. And then once it's good and you think it's great, if you do have a press, you can put them in the press, and because it's soft, because it's brass, you will be able to press it flat, and any high spots will flatten themselves, and then hit it with your sander. Oh, I need a new pad, but hit it with the sander. That's just lightly, just to knock off the top and smooth it off. And then when you're putting it on the bike, put the side that was good, that came machined, put that against the bearing, and put that side against the actual fork, because that's soft, and anyways it will press into it, but you don't really want to press something uneven into the bearing. Yeah, that's it. I'll finish off the video later on with the solutions for everything. So that's the basic tools used for modifying these bearing cups to make them fit, and welder. Unfortunately the torch broke and I haven't bothered me else to sort it out, so I'm on the little one. But yeah, that's the basic tools to grab it with, to cut, to grab it with when you're sanding and while you're wheeling it, to file the bush down, so that's a different part of it. But to file the bush down you need a file, and then you just need the sander and the grinder for cutting them and cutting that bush, but that's for something else on the wheel. So now, so as you can see, that was the old type bearing where it sits in and rolls around, which is no good. So cut it in half, weld on the new cup, and voila, there you have it. Now these, don't take the weld off them ever, will now get pressed in, bottom and top, and voila, back in business. It's going to clean them up, give them a paint, and then the new forks will be going on with the refurbished wheel, the new bearings and the new spacer. You know, I hate to crack them forks and I'll pick them up.